Hey everybody, Kevin Machado here. I hope you're doing so well. And here we are. We've got a new year. We're ready to go with all the things that we had planned last year that maybe didn't make it to the end of the year. And now we get to start fresh and new. It's like that fresh dump of snow that you shoveled for days and days and weeks to make giant pillars of snow on the side of your driveway or on the street to make everything crazy. We've got this fresh opportunity for a new year. And last year was a great year. I hope it was a great year for you and for me and my family. There was a lot of really wonderful things we got to take part in. One of those things was I got to run a marathon and be held up at the end by random strangers and my wife, as I thought I was going to die, but I didn't, just barely, I think. I got to do that, and I got to take part in a lot of other really great things, volunteering within our church, and then also at my son's hockey team, and then just helping a great amount of clients, being so blessed to have amazing friends and clients that come back to us and allow us the opportunity to serve them. And with all of that, with the amount of sales that we're able to do, being in the top agents in all of Edmonton and then even in Western Canada amongst Remax, and so, yeah, just truly can't say enough how fortunate and blessed and grateful I am to all of you for giving me the opportunity to come alongside and serve you and help you in your home purchases, home sales, and even just giving you advice and telling you sometimes it's not the best idea to sell or buy, and maybe you're better off in a different situation. So grateful for that. And now we're here into 2026. And what's it going to be like for you? My big thing that I've been working on a lot is just becoming more and more comfortable in who I am. And that's my hope for you, is that you can become more and more comfortable in who you are this year. The biggest thing would be more you than you have ever before. Maybe you've been influenced by some social media trends and some influencer out there that has a 5-hour morning routine and is absolutely jacked, and you feel bad because you've got a toddler screaming and a dog that needs to walk and work that you need to get to. But just be who you are, who it is that you're made to be, and lean into that. That would be my big encouragement for you for this year. That's mine for myself this year. And I hope that we can go on this journey together. Speaking of that, there likely is going to be some other emails and some other threads that come along through this. And if you're interested and you want to have some more specific information, not just about real estate, but more about living better and finding success in your work and your life and living authentically, let me know. We might start a separate little list and group for that. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. You can send me a message, text me, or email, or whatever it is. And I'd be happy to share all of that information with you as well as we get that going this year. Now, as we get to a real estate market, what was it like? 2025 was an interesting year. We saw some ups, we saw some downs, and then we saw it continue on with some strength. I think that it was a good year overall. We still saw a lot of people moving here to Alberta. We saw a lot of strength in our market. And as we go into 2026, what is it going to look like? I do not have a crystal ball. But if I was looking at things and I was going to put my best guess on how things are going to go, I'm going to say it's going to be steady as it goes. Edmonton is really good at being that steady, reliable market where it just kind of keeps ticking and going. And I think that's what we're going to see again this year, especially with our single family detached properties. Those are going to continue to climb and just inch along there. Inflationary, a bit better than inflation, I would say. And then we're going to see things, how they go this year. But we're going to first reflect back on how the year ended for 2025 in December. So in December of 2025, we look back, and these are what these market stats are. We look back at things. We're going to notice that we've seen some interesting moves with pricing. So year over year with our single family detached homes, we ended off at $566,000. So that's going to be our average single family detached home price. That's going to be up 2% month over month and up 5% year over year. And you got to remember, these November, December, January, that's going to be a slow time for our market, but January is actually looking to trend pretty well for us so far. But December, a slower time, ending at 566 for a single family detached home, which is up 5% year over year. Semi-detached, those ended at 422,000, which is flat month over month essentially, and then up 3% year over year. The row and townhomes, those ended at $297,000, which is up 3% month over month and up 2% year over year. So, single family detached, that's going to be 5% up. Semi-detached, those half duplexes are up 3. Townhomes, those are going to be up 2%. Now, our apartment style condos, those we would see fluctuate continually, where they would go up and they'd go down. And that is back down to $193,000. So we saw a lot of stability around that $200,000 mark. It slipped off there for December and went back down to $193,000 for the average condo price, which is down 6% month over month. And year over year, that would be down 5%. So overall, when we're looking at those property types, the fully detached single family, those are going to be our best performers in our market and have been for the longest time. But we still see some relative strength there. When we look at our average days on market, what we can see is we've got an average days where it was at 50 days. So 50 days to sell a home back in December, which was 45 the year prior. We're seeing some of that, a sluggish market, not as many sales taking place. And when we look at that, our sales in December were 1,315, which is down 20% month over month from November, which is expected. But then again, it was going to be down year over year. So our sales were down about 7% year over year. And then our new listings were climbing. As we saw that year over year went up about 4%. And then month over month, of course, those went down 37%. November, December kind of peaks down for amount of listings, amount of sales, but our prices remained relatively stable and strong. That puts our Edmonton and greater surrounding area markets. We've got 3.4 months of inventory, which pushes us really close to that balanced market. Usually it's going to be anything under 4 months is going to be sellers, but I would say more likely anything under 3 is more like a seller's market. 3 and then up to about 6 is going to be balanced. And then once you're crossing over 6, or maybe it's 5.5, you're going to be more towards a buyer's market. So we're trending towards balanced market, but that's going to be December. January, I'll be very curious to see what next month's numbers are like, but that's what we saw there. The highest sale in Edmonton was a $2.7 million home. And we even saw a condo that sold at $865,000. So we've seen some big sales there. That's what our Edmonton market was like. Steady, some good increases. It peaked out there probably in April, May, and then it trailed off. And then we saw some just little bumps of increases throughout the rest of the year. So it just kind of goes up and down and then kind of trails up. Now, for St. Albert, my market that I live in, my neighborhood here, what I can tell you about our market is that we've actually seen our average prices. They're generally going to be a little bit better than Edmonton. We're at $601,000 for the average price, and that median price, because again, you can get a high sale that can push things up, a low sale. That median is about $552. So that's around the market that we see here in St. Albert for single family detached. 57% of our sales are going to be $600,000 and under, and then 20% are going to be between that $600,000 to $800,000 range. So really, that's the strength of this market. It's that single family, families moving here, a detached home kind of lifestyle and community, and then multiple sales, just under 10 sales from that 800 to above $1 million. So that's what the real estate market there. Currently, we've got about 100 active listings, 8 that are pending. And last time we did it, we was about 108. So we're starting to see some activity. We saw more active last month. We're seeing active properties starting to come to the market. People are starting to see some weather maybe trend up, some sunshine, and they're going to get their houses ready for sale. And then with that, when we look at that average price at $601,000 for the average, last year it was going to be $558. So we're up about 7% year over year when it comes to St. Albert real estate market. And that's again looking December numbers. So up about 7%. And then for us, we saw the highest sale out here in St. Albert was a $1.29 million home in Lacombe Park Estates. There was a sale of annexed land that was $2.7 million, not really a detached single family home style, more of development land that had a house on it. But then our lowest sale was also in Lacombe Park, but is in older Lacombe Park for $304,000. So that's what the market looked like there. For our months of inventory here in St. Albert, we have 3.3 months of inventory, up from 2.3. And again, December is where we're going to see that big influx, and then it's going to shrink back down. So still trended towards that balanced market, but I think that we're going to see the numbers change as we get next month's numbers and then as we head into the year. So what does this all mean? This means that this is a great time to be prepared. If you're a buyer, this is a good time to be looking at buying before the market goes up, before we see that push into spring and then summer and then peaking out. So if you are a buyer, this is a great opportunity to be ready and looking on the market before prices increase. As a seller, this could be a great time. It depends on what your neighborhood is like, but being mindful and wise about when to put your house for sale is going to be really important, and to make sure that you maximize your value this year. But again, if you're going to be selling and trading up, then maybe selling sooner is better. If you're selling and trading down, maybe later is going to be better. But again, those are all individual conversations that we could have with you. I hope this didn't bore you too much. I hope it made some kind of sense. And I'm just really, really grateful for all of you. Grateful for the opportunity that I have to serve you, and looking forward to a wonderful 2026 with all of you. All right, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.